Oh gosh, I was told I have to stand still. This is going to be really challenging for me because I love traveling so much that usually I walk around when I'm speaking. So my parents come from 2 different continents, and I had lived in 6 different places around the world by the time I was 12. I had no time for hobbies because they were constantly moving me, and so actually my passion in life became travel by default, but gladly. I absolutely love holidays, traveling, even here, coming here from London was thrilling for me. But I'm not here to talk to you just about travel, of course, though if I did have to give you my 3 favorite destinations, I would say Ischia, Rio de Janeiro, and Beirut. But I'm here to tell you a little bit about internet culture, because my team is totally focused on what is shaping internet culture. And internet culture is popular culture. You know, the 2, you can't really say internet culture anymore. The internet is part of everything. And we are a research team, a non-commercial team. So I'm here to bring you the insights that we see in user behavior, and to tell you why it has never been more exciting to be part of this world. So one of the things that we talk about a lot at work is the fact that internet culture, or the internet generally, has been quite misunderstood, I feel, and that a lot of people make assumptions about the impact that it has had on the world. The first one being, if this will actually work, come on, clicker, hello. It worked so nicely for everyone else. Oh, yay, okay. Is that the internet has killed our sense of community, that people are increasingly isolated, that people are lonely, etc. Now, there is a loneliness pandemic. I absolutely recognize that. But that is largely, I think, down to more macroeconomic trends rather than the internet. The internet has facilitated connection through things that people really, really care about. Your community is no longer confined to the people who you happen to grow up near or the school you went to. It is really the people who love the things that you love too, which is so exciting. So it means that communities grow around all sorts of different topics. We see these happening around the passions that connect them, the things that people really, really love. That's Taylor Swift fans for the uninitiated. But that can be something like huge, but there are also massive communities around things like trains.
Oh, take a look at that. Oh my God! Woo! Listen to that horn! Oh my God! Oh, she's beautiful!
And the passion is just as strong, whatever that topic might be. And we see this happening around everything. So 73% of fans come to YouTube to see content around that passion, which is a really, really big number. But it's impressive when you see that actually that's 20 percentage points higher than any other platform. So this is really where people come to find the stuff that they love. An example of that is how people are coming to try and understand the world in ways that are new to them. So people prefer to experience something first through a creator or through a channel than actually doing it themselves. So it is a big, with the second biggest search engine, people are coming to research. And we see this coming through all the time, but increasingly now, we see people seeking novelty. So people, the big destinations are still, of course, popular, but people want to see them through a different lens. They want to see a new way of experiencing that. People want to be different. People want to create cut-through, often for their social media channels. People just want to have something cool to talk about. An example of that is this UK creator. He's excellent, Ben Morris. He goes to places that he thinks people should know about, but they don't. So, for example, he recently went to Chongqing in China, which is a huge city, but a lot of people haven't heard of it. And he went by himself, and he explored it, and he met locals and experienced it through their eyes.
I think this is the closest I have ever felt to being in a real-life video game. Just surreal.
Not a disappointment. Yeah. Not a disappointment. I'm very glad I got to watch this with you. Yeah. Yeah. Can I call you Mike? Mate? Yeah. Yeah, of course.
I found that so endearing as a British person who knows how important it is to feel the intimacy of being able to call someone mate. It was really lovely. But it was great to see, because then afterwards you look at the comments, and this happens again and again on YouTube content, where people are saying, some of you probably can't read this, I'm so sorry, but basically people are saying how wonderful it is to see somewhere that is huge, but through the eyes of someone who is experiencing it for the first time. People saying YouTube is bringing a different perspective to places that people sometimes don't hear positive things about in the press, and they're understanding it in a different way. Or it might be the experience of this guy who I love. He's a Nigerian who goes and travels around different parts of the world. And you know, an experience of traveling as a black man is going to be a different experience from traveling like me. And so he introduces a whole new perspective to people to understand things in a new way. Here he's in Naples, and he's trying to converse with people and struggling.
That's the problem, man. One of the problems I'm having here is communication, man. You know, like, I can't even get somebody to ask anybody something. If I'm not familiar with something, it's hard to ask anybody on the street because they don't speak English here.
The people of Naples are so hot.
They are hot?
Yeah, we are hot, so we are...
Okay, you are open.
Yeah.
Si dice in italiano ed è differente in napoletano.
And it's these new eyes that I think are so fascinating for a lot of people. But, you know, this comes through in lots of different ways. You know, Paris, the most visited city in the world. So you might think there aren't new things to say about it. Of course there are new things to say about it. This content creator called Luis, who's wonderful, this video got over 15 million views, where he went to Paris and he decided to do a croissant review, but at the time when there were huge demonstrations taking place.
Very good. All right, guys, that was a very good experience trying the real croissant in Paris, and hopefully you enjoyed it as much as I did, and I see you soon.
But you might think that would put people off, but actually not at all. The comments underneath, again, were full of love and admiration for him doing something that was a bit different and showing an unfiltered perspective on somewhere, which was really, really fun. Now, you see, these are all like native content creators who do it fantastically, but some brands have actually started to adopt these methods too and taken this kind of subversive, cool humor that a lot of channels do really well. My favorite example of this is Visit Oslo, so this is their video.
I don't know. If you don't have to stand in line for at least a couple of hours, is it even worth seeing?
Not exactly the Mona Lisa.
Sometimes I just walk right in off the street and get a table. And I'm not even famous. I mean, what does that tell you? I think a city should feel a little hard to get. It's like a good relationship, you know? It's not supposed to be easy.
And again, the comments underneath, you see how much people are appreciating it. Like, you know, video platforms are often a place of inspiration, but they're also a place of real exploration and research. So people are really trying to understand it. So this community is absolutely thriving. Don't believe the hype. We are connected. People are super connected, actually, through YouTube, which is wonderful. The second myth that we hear a lot is that because everybody has these incredible tools at their disposal, everyone expects really high production value. Now, there is a lot of beautiful, beautiful content on YouTube, like some really, really incredible, especially in travel, some amazing things to see. You know, this is because we all have editing tools, often in our mobile phones. So it's not like fancy video editors who can make this stuff now. It is you and me and everyone. So you get examples that are really incredible, especially through AI now. I wanted to include this video because this is a channel that's based in Berlin. We're in Berlin, and this is a guy who makes amazing videos using AI where he reimagines things, like he does Harry Potter in Italy, or you know, he did Barbie in Vietnam, and he does these incredible things. This is an example of him doing Lord of the Rings in Berlin, and he's talking about the attempts to try and get into the infamous nightclub Berghain. Did anyone go to Berghain last night? No? Oh my God, guys, we're in Berlin. I didn't either. Who am I kidding? But anyway, here you go.
Sie bringen die Hobbits ins Berghain.
Man kann nicht einfach ins Berghain spazieren. Seine schwarzen Tore werden von Schlimmerem bewacht.
So it's just funny, like short clips that are crazy. The things that he's achieved just with AI is amazing. But it's not just AI, of course, that has this high production value. You see these like beautifully shot things through drones often. Like many travel creators use really like high tech, 4K technology, beautiful, beautiful shots. But interestingly, I think in reaction to the like super polished AI world that we do live in, there's a huge appetite for content that feels a little bit scrappier and feels more authentic and feels more realistic, to the point where you get creators like Emma Chamberlain, who is huge. I mean, she's got over 12 million subscribers. She's massive. She was on the Oscars red carpet carrying out all the most high-profile interviews. She's the face of Louis Vuitton now. She's like a really established content creator. But she still edits her videos herself. She still films a lot of them on her own mobile phone, or she gets her dad to film them sometimes, or her friends, and everything feels a little bit scrappy. I'm going to show you a clip of her in the south of France. And if you watch it, actually you see like water, like the splashes of water on her phone as she's filming herself. But she doesn't mind, it's part of the experience.
Ice in the wine. Every sommelier will tell you don't do that.
Oh, ice in the wine, did you do it?
It's so good. Ice in the wine. It's so good. It's refreshing.
I'm so sorry to any French people in the room. I know that will be very, very upsetting. But that's an example of the kind of scrappy editing. But then you get more like kind of extreme examples of that, obviously in short form, where the barrier to entry has really been lowered. It's a lot more participative, people wanting to join in the culture and the creation. The next clip I'm going to show you is from an Olympic diver. She's Canadian. And even though she has this really high-profile role in the world, she actually makes really scrappy, amazing content where she's doing these dives from terrifying places. And she just gets her boyfriend to film them, and they feel quite scrappy. Watch this one. If anyone has vertigo, you might actually want to close your eyes. It's amazing.
Okay, just do it like you know how to do it. 1, 2, kick. Tall head. 1, 2, kick. Okay, triple. Ready? Yeah. 1, 2, 3.
Whoa. But you can see, like, there's the wind noise, the camera's shaky a little bit. She doesn't mind that it's scrappy. It covered up, I don't know why this happened, but it covered up that among all the many comments, people are talking about where she goes every time. And this is like a real love of Bosnia because she's showing people a different perspective. She then, as a lot of content creators do, they have their short form, which leads to longer form content. And so you have this symbiotic relationship of people getting inspiration from the short and then diving deeper into, that was funny, into the long form for the research. So it's not true that everybody expects this high production value. Actually, there's a lot of value to be gained from experimenting and doing the things that feel a little more experimental and a little bit more rough. The last myth, which has really been perpetuated by this growth of short form, is that everybody has a really short attention span now. I'm sure you have heard this. Everybody's talking about it a lot. Actually, it's really not true. We've seen a huge growth in short form. Of course we have. But we see the equal growth in the appetite for long form. And actually, for younger people particularly, watch time on long form content is really, really growing. There was third-party research recently that said it was almost 10% growth year on year in long form for people under the age of 25. So that appetite is really there. In fact, we see that YouTube is the preferred platform for podcasts. The average podcast on YouTube is really, really long, and people are going to find out more, to have the in-depth conversation around it. I'm going to play you a clip from a podcast again to show you that it's not just older people. This is, they might have beards, but everyone cool in the UK still has beards. And so these guys are in their early 20s, and this is a travel podcast that they do a podcast about everything generally, but they often talk about travel. And they're talking to a travel creator here, who again, on that theme of he likes to go to places that are undiscovered or other people aren't going to. So here he's talking about his experience of going to Syria. He has an accent from the north of England. It's a really, really fun accent. I love it. I hope everyone will be able to understand it. But the TLDR is he loves Syria.
Just don't live by what you hear.
Right.
You know, if you want to go there, just go.
Yeah. Okay. Well, what was Syria like?
Amazing.
Was it? Yeah.
Oh, mate, you've never seen anything like it. It was class. The people are class. So hospitable.
And he goes on with real, effusive praise. But this is just an example to show that, podcast has become a place where people can really, really explore and have that conversation. Because if it's just one person creating content about a travel destination, that's great. You get their perspective, which is wonderful. But the podcast format allows for a bit more of a kind of interrogation and a bit more of a conversation, which could be more layered and more interesting. But it's not just podcasts, of course. There's long form and lots of different iterations on YouTube. Video essays have been hugely popular since YouTube started, and we see those of all sorts of lengths. This is one of my favorite channels, The School of Life. They make brilliant content. A lot of it is around philosophy and our ways of dealing with the world. Here's a video that they did about travel.
What's the point of travel? It's to help make us into better people. It's a sort of therapy. Without anything mystical being meant by this, all of us are, in one way or another, on what could be termed an inner journey.
It is therapy. We are all, well, you are all therapists. I'm not, but well done to all of you. But this is a fantastic channel that, engages in these long format pieces of content and short pieces as well. But you see really long video essays that, again, drive really, really strong engagement. I'm going to show you one which is a video essay about Star Wars. And I was like, is this related to travel? Yes, it is, because the future of travel, who knows where we might go?
Why, yes, this video is 12 hours long. We have a lot to cover, so we need to keep things concise.
It's 12 hours long and millions and millions of views. And that's not the longest. I saw a video that was uploaded the other day that was 39 hours long. You get these really, really long pieces of content. You get episodic content where people watch a long piece and then there's another one that is released and another one. Their attention spans are there. If the content is good enough, people will really, really watch it. And you look at the comments after this and people are absolutely loving it. Some people were saying if you go down the whole way, this wasn't long enough. And this was part one. So there are multiples to this one too. So this has created this kind of explosion of channels and content creators who get it. They understand that actually YouTube, you can do all sorts of things. So if you want to live stream or you want to create a podcast or a VOD or a piece of short form, you can do all of that. And it's really what your audience is expecting in some ways. You can answer their need state. And so experimenting and trying these different ways is really a fantastic way to appreciate this platform. And so you see even our biggest creators, Mr. Beast at the top, he is the biggest. He does this all the time. His short form is really, really scrappy, but his long form is really high production value. He does live streams, he does podcasts too. So it's really learning from these channels that have made it fantastic. So it's not true. We are not all goldfish. Don't believe it. If content's good enough, people will watch it. Which brings me to my last point. The things I would love for you to remember from today, please, if you could, is that community is absolutely thriving on YouTube. Production value is high and casual and everything in between. And the attention span depends on the mood of the audience, not on their age. So thank you very, very much for having me.
Wow. Thank you so much.
No,
thank you so
you.
much. I will spend a few days in the coming weeks going through YouTube. I have so much inspiration now. And obviously, we have to ask you, Roya, 73% of fans turn to YouTube for content about their passion. What's your passion? What would you turn to YouTube for? What are you looking for?
Goodness. I mean, I wasn't fibbing when I started by saying travel really is it. Like, I love it. From, doing multiple solo trips backpacking to like fancier family holidays. I absolutely love it. I'm about to go to Mexico for the 3rd time. I'm so excited. So travel really is my passion. But again, this is not, and I didn't know this was going to be a question. Honestly, YouTube. If it didn't come across already, like my hobby is YouTube. I have got my perfect job for me. I know, but I do. I genuinely love it.
Yeah, we can feel that, and I mean, I totally understand that. And now you answered my question already, because I wanted to ask you if you ever used YouTube to basically research for a travel destination, but you did.
Oh my gosh, so much. And even like I do, because that's a natural reflex for me. But actually, my husband, who I didn't tell him that's what he had to do, he was coming and sharing different parts of Mexico that he wanted to go to with YouTube videos, which was really interesting to me because he is not on any platforms, any social media. He's like, finance nerd. And no offense to finance people, he is a nerd within finance. And he loves it.
We need those two.
Yeah, we do. Yeah. And he absolutely loves it, and he found it really helpful. And we actually chose where we're going to go based on the YouTube videos. So I think it is a combination. A lot of people come to Google first and get their initial kind of plan, and then if you really want to understand something properly, then you will go and look at YouTube.
Right. Well, I will try as well.
Yeah,
that's for sure. And then something that I personally loved really the most, learning I had with you also already in our podcast that we recorded pre-ITB, is that you basically told me there is no short attention span problem. People are really into the long formats, right? So do you have also like a favorite podcast where you can sit through hours, or is there something you can recommend?
Yeah, I do. I think the format that I consume probably the most is podcasts, actually. I absolutely love them. And something that I learned recently, not through YouTube research, it was through a third party, was that the vast majority of people now prefer to watch podcasts rather than just listen to them. So that was a revelation to me. I hadn't realized. I enjoy watching them because you can see the facial expression, you understand from the body language what the conversation is really about. But I didn't realize that a lot of people were doing that. So yeah, I listen to a lot of podcasts or watch a lot of podcasts. So
right, okay. Well, I love them too. But I never tried the really long ones, so I'm going to try that. And then I, of course, have to ask the question, despite the French in the room, my apologies, white wine with ice or without ice?
Oh, I would say without. No, like Emma Chamberlain, she is a queen, love her, but personally without.
Right, okay. So I hope you get treated to a nice glass of white wine tonight.
Oh, thank you.
Everyone, thank you so much. Roya Setourné from YouTube.
Thank you.
And I say back to Katie.